Hello and welcome to the final round of the SMRC eSports Racing Summer Cup, presented by Sim Broadcasts and powered by Reese Motorsport Insurance. It's Andy Alston with you here in the commentary box. No Duncan Vincent tonight, but he'll be back for the Autumn Cup in a few weeks' time. So, Summer Cup leader Stuart Mcfadden was forced to step away from the action at the last round at Silverstone for the international configuration, but he's back for one last hurrah as he looks set to defend his 1 point lead from Fraser Williamson, who's the only man who can beat him to this Summer Cup title. But of course, there's still lots to play for across the championship, and we've got the overall standings as well. But there's 26 points splitting third place man Jack Hare at the moment in the Summer Cup, but this is the overall championship standings, and it's important that we take a look at this. The reason being, of course, we've got the Autumn Cup and the Formula Renault 2.0s, which will be getting underway early September, and it's the overall championship standings that will decide who is on the grid in the Scottish SMTA C1 Cup next year. So the overall winner will go from virtual to reality and be on our SMRC grid next year. At the moment, it's that man, Fraser Williamson, the Renault Sim Racing driver, top of the table on 920 points, followed by Michael Weddle, Adam Brown rounding up the top three. So still all to play for, not just in the Summer Cup, but the overall championship standings as well. But tonight, of course, we've got 3 races in store for you as always, and we're at one of the classic venues in all of motorsport. It's Brands Hatch, and we've got the Grand Prix layout for this one in particular, and this is one that always produces lots of action. Of course, we were here for the Spring Cup just a few months ago when we were driving the Mazda MX-5s, and Fraser Williamson won the first 2 races on that occasion, and then it was the Rethink Racing driver Michael Weddle who won the reverse grid finale. So Fraser Williamson certainly laid down a marker last time out here at Brands Hatch, but that man there who we're seeing in the background, a wild card entry from our Summer Cup Championship leader Stuart Mcfadden, has very much put the cat among the pigeons. Of course, Stuart said that he wasn't going to be on track anymore, and this is very much a surprise, not just for Fraser Williamson, but the rest of the drivers out there as well. Stuart did not declare that he was going to be taking part in this event and has just rocked up tonight. And in typical fashion, Stuart's done lots of practice ahead of this one and very much at the sharp end on the timesheets as well. So Stuart Mcfadden determined to keep a hold of the Summer Cup title, and it'll all be decided here tonight with just 1 point between him and Fraser Williamson. So let's take a little look around the track, see how the drivers are getting on, and there's a quick look just at the championship standings here. This is the championship standings for the Summer Cup. So it's Stuart Mcfadden that leads the way on 401 points, just a single point clear of Fraser Williamson. Jack Hare is on the final step of the podium at the moment, but there's just 26 points splitting him and both Adam Brown and Michael Weddle. So that's one that's certainly worth keeping an eye on as well. 3 Rethink Racing drivers there, of course, too. So it'll be interesting to see how the trio handle that one as well. Michael Mcpherson in 6th place, and Matthew McBride, of course, who took the win in the finale last time out at Silverstone as well. That was his first win in the SMRC series. Cameron Ritchie, Rory Bryant and Scott Smith rounding out the top 10. So lots still to play for in the Summer Cup, and I think the stage is very much set for some great action here tonight. So we've got just under 5 minutes left of qualifying. Of course, the drivers are allowed a maximum of 4 timed laps. They're out there on their own in iRacing. They don't have to manage traffic, anything like that. So this is all about outright pace. And it's that man, Stuart Mcfadden, who's very much leading the way at the moment. It's a gap of over 0.2 of a second between Aidan Wilson, who is, again, a driver that we know's got pace from the console championships that we had last year. But Fraser Williamson has just gone top of the timesheets there. It's a 1:33.0, 3/10 quicker than Stuart Mcfadden, who we're riding on board with at the moment, just making his way out of Clark Curve and back down the Bratham Straight for another hot lap in 5th gear at the moment. And let's see if he can improve on that time. Hooks the car up onto the right to go down Paddock Hill Bend. Always a tricky one to get right, of course. It's very tempting to use all of that curb and then some more on exit. before you make your way into Druids. But Fraser Williamson currently second now, just been pipped once again by Stuart Mcfadden. These two already trading blows with a few minutes left in this session. So it's Mcfadden who's now top by 1/10 of a second. And look at the gap between Mcfadden and Wilson, 7/10 of a second between him and the next fastest driver, Aidan Wilson, who I have to say has put up a very impressive time up on there on the timesheets. Michael Weddle in fourth, John Higgins in fifth, and then it's Michael Mcpherson in sixth place as things stand. Lots of drivers still out there on track at the moment. A couple who haven't set a time just yet. Robert McGregor, Sam Corzin, Nathan Lamond and Matthew McBride, to name a few. So certainly one's worth keeping an eye on. Perhaps they've had a little off track in a couple of previous laps. Of course, that would mean the lap time is deleted. So the pressure will be on for them with just over 3 minutes left in this session. But Stuart Mcfadden, it's a 1:32.9. Let's see if Fraser Williamson can beat it this time of asking as he crosses the start-finish line now. And he's managed to beat Stuart Mcfadden. This is it. It's 1/10 of a second quicker. Does Williamson go on Mcfadden? This is going to be fantastic stuff. And beg your pardon, it's not even a 10th of a second. Look at that. Mcfadden making his way around the final corner now. Will he improve on his time and go and beat Williamson once again to pole? Let's see how he gets on. And he's just, look at that, incredible. We've not even had the races yet. And these guys are going at it, throwing haymakers lap after lap here. Not even a 10th of a second splitting the pair of them. I have to say, I cannot wait to see both these guys out there on track. Let's take a look at current third place man, Adam Brown. He's just beat Aidan Wilson to the final step on the podium at the moment. Good time out there for him as well, 7/10 of a second. Behind the two leaders, then it's Wilson, Weddle on fifth, Mcpherson in sixth. So 1 second between the top five or so. Of course, Adam Brown, worth noting, who we spoke about earlier, third in the championship is the space that he's competing for. He's got 276 points, but it's Jack Hare in third and 291. So he's one that's very much going to be there in the mix alongside current fifth place man Michael Weddle. So there are three drivers, the three Rethink Racing drivers are ones very much to keep an eye on. But look at that, Scott Smith has just put his 82 car into fourth place. Jack Hare in sixth, Aidan Wilson tumbling down the order slightly into seventh place. But Fraser Williamson, look at that, 1,000th of a second is the gap between him and Stuart Mcfadden. This is incredible. Both guys are just going at it here. Let's see if Mcfadden can pinch pole position once more from Williamson. This may well be his last attempt to do it. Let's see how he gets on. And he's done it. Incredible. Stuart Mcfadden has done it once more. Mcfadden on pole position. Williamson down to second. And I suspect that's all she wrote as Mcfadden pulls that Audi TCR car to the side of the track. And he is done. 45 seconds left in this session. Mcfadden in the pits, Williamson in the pits, so that's the front two, that's the front row of the grid locked out. A couple of drivers still out there on track, Dale Smith being one of them, 16th place at the moment for him as he makes his way around the final couple of corners. Let's see if he can improve on that time. 0.3 of a second between him and 15th place man Robert McGregor, so he's got a little bit of work to do if he wants to make his way up the order as he makes his way round Clark Curve, trying to use all the track on exit, then pull the car back over to the right-hand side just to give him a bit of a narrow run and the shortest run to the start-finish line. Let's see how he gets on. And it looks like Dale Smith has not managed to improve on that time. He parks up his Audi and he will start this race from 16th place on the grid. And that's all we wrote. 10 minutes gone in qualifying. And I think this is going to be a real treat here tonight, folks. So thank you very much for joining us. And don't go anywhere because there's going to be 3 fantastic races in store for us here. So let's take a look at the starting grid for race number 1. It's Stuart Mcfadden from pole position. Fraser Williamson starts in second, followed by Adam Brown. Scott Smith, Michael Mcpherson, Michael Weddle, Jack Hare, Aidan Wilson, John Higgins, and Cameron Ritchie rounds out the top 10. It's James McIntosh starting this race from 11th place, followed by Sean Dobie in 12th. Stuart Wyness in 13th alongside Andrew McKinley. Then it's Robert McGregor, Dale Smith, Mark Herron, David Bolton, Ryan Smith, John Proctor in 20th place. Then it's Matthew McBride, Sam Corzin and Nathan Lamond in the final places on the grid. So, not long to go now, under a minute before race number 1 gets underway. The drivers just making their way out there on track, and I think this is one where Paddock Hill Bend is going to be very, very interesting to see who gets a clean getaway and manages just to hold on to the inside line and then take the speed down the hill and into Druid. So can Stuart Mcfadden, a driver we know who's very quick away from the start-finish line, can he replicate that once more and get away cleanly from Fraser Williamson? But of course, he's got Brown, Smith, Mcpherson, Weddle, Ayr, Wilson, and Higgins. Very, very fast drivers, all looking to make moves as well, and very much spoil the party for the two at the front. So it's the blue and white car of Mcfadden on the left. It's the silver and black with red markings as well for Fraser Williamson on the right. These are the two to keep an eye on here as the lights are about to come up on our screen for race number 1 here this evening. 10 seconds or so to go until the lights go out, and this is anyone's race to call, I have to say. Two drivers at the front, very much trading blows throughout qualifying, and let's see how things unfold as the lights come up for race number 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on the screen. And we're away for race number 1 at Brands Hatch. A good start from Stuart Mcfadden. Williamson a little bit slower to get away, and that's allowed Adam Brown with the orange alloys to pip him into second place. And of course, Brown's got the inside line into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time of asking, but it's Mcfadden leading the way quite comfortably, it must be said, from Brown. Then it's Williamson. Williamson taking an inside line and defensive line perhaps from the cars behind, and maybe even making a move on Adam Brown. Let's see if he can make that stick into Graham Hill Bend, because he's got the outside line here on Adam Brown, but he has managed to make that just stick. He's managed to get the 369 car ahead of the nose of Brown, and that means it's Mcfadden from Williamson, Adam Brown in third, Scott Smith in 82 in fourth, Michael Weddle in fifth place. Looks like everyone's managed to make it round cleanly. We've got Sam Cors and Nathan Lamb, who haven't made the grid by the looks of it. Both of them showing is out at the moment. Scott Smith making moves into third place there, who's just on the edge of the track, looking to get past Adam Brown, see if he can make that stick into Hawthorns. He does, and that's a tricky corner to go on the outside. In fact, he's just gone a little bit wide, and that is then opening the door once more to Adam Brown. Adam Brown with the inside. Michael Weddle looking to follow through as well. Car number 7. Both of the Rethink Racing drivers getting involved, followed by Michael Mcpherson in the green and white car as well. Jack Ayr in 7th place, and off goes Smith, off goes Scott Smith. He's into the gravel. He's got it all wrong in the opener, but thankfully managing to keep that car out of the barriers. He's not, he's collected the 436. Down goes James McIntosh as well, and it's all kicking off on lap number 1. James McIntosh, not much he could do there at all. He was on the outside and just been collected, unfortunately, by Scott Smith, and both cars go tumbling down the order. Meanwhile, back at the front, it's Michael Weddle, who's now inherited third place. Adam Brown in fourth, Mcpherson in fifth, Aidan Wilson and Jack Ayr exchanging places into Paddock Hill Bend. Looks like the 16 of Mcpherson's hit the gravel as that car went the wrong way, and there's been further contact. Mcpherson in the barrier, down goes Michael Mcpherson, and it looks like, I think Matthew McBride perhaps involved in there as well. He's going up the order as everybody else falls down. So McBride, one of the big winners. McGregor has also been involved in tumbling down the order. Further contact for Mcpherson, and I have to say it's been a couple of disastrous events for him. Of course, last time out, plagued by Wi-Fi troubles, not able to show the true pace that we know he has, and race number 1 has been a disaster for car number 16. So Michael Mcpherson out, Cameron Ritchie also in the pit lane, and that's been a real disaster for a number of drivers falling down the order. We've got just 19 out there on track at the moment. Lamond and Corson, of course, didn't manage to make the start. Back at the front, though, it's Stuart Mcfadden. 0.4 of a second is the gap between him and Fraser Williamson. Michael Weddle, 4.2 seconds behind. Jack Ayer's just had a little bit of a moment. Jack Ayer's gone off. Let's see if we can follow that car on the way back round. Ayr has been passed by, in fact, he's just exchanging places by John Dobby. The yellow car just not managing to make it. So it's a yellow car in several other colours, but it's just not managed to make it stick. Jack Ayr, though, again looking to get the inside line. He's managed to make that, and yep, Jack Ayer's got the move done. Off goes Matthew McBride, however. We've got another car at the side. McBride, I suspect, maybe had a little bit of contact from the incident involving in fact, let's get a replay, see what happened. McBride just goes off there. Look at, there's already damage at the back of the car, so I suspect he's not been able to wrestle the car round the Stirling's corner, and he parks that one up. So disappointment for McBride. Off goes John Higgins. They're all going into the gravel here. McBride and Higgins just hits the barrier for good measure there as well. And let's see what happened there. So he's already gone off, and it's a big shunt after Paddock Hill Bend, managing just to bring the car up the hill. But it's already disaster for him, and off he goes. So a number of cars into the pit already. Just a little bit of replay here between Mcfadden and Williamson. Mcfadden just running that car a little bit wide there, but managing to come through unscathed. But look at the gap now. It's down to 0.2 of a second. In fact, 0.3 of a second. So Fraser Williamson, fastest driver out there on track. Last time out was a 1:33.1. It was a 1:33.2 for Mcfadden. Michael Weddle, 5.2 seconds now, so he's just fallen a little bit back though, but I suspect that's because he's having to battle with his Rethink Racing teammate Adam Brown. Aidan Wilson in 5th, Jack Eyre still in 8th place at the moment, and a little bit of a gap now between him and Sean Dobie. And Andrew McKinley there in the blue and orange car driving up the inside. Has he got enough to make that? He's hit the grass there, that's cost him on exit, and McKinley holds on to 10th place at the moment. Andrew McKinley, a driver very much growing in confidence in the Summer Cup and getting faster and faster as well as we go. So let's see if he can perhaps make a move here on Shobi as they make their way down the Brabham Straight, and they'll eventually hook off to the right for Paddock Hill. McKinley on the outside. It's not really where you want to be for this corner if you want to make a move. Just having to correct that car there, just a little steer to the left. Car perhaps got a little bit too light and was getting away from him. That allows Dobie to take the momentum with him up Paddock Hill, up the hill and into Druids, and he's comfortably got that one defended from McKinley at the moment. But these are two drivers very much worth keeping an eye on throughout all three events. And off, in fact, wide goes Dobie. Dobie goes wide. That's going to compromise him there. There was another car off on the grass as well, so he had to bring it back onto the track very quickly. Andrew McKinley says, thanks very much. I'll take the inside into Surtees, and I'll go up the straight and into 9th in this race. So back at the front though, look at that, 0.2 of a second now is the gap between the two championship protagonists. It's Mcfadden in the lead from Fraser Williamson. Williamson was not expecting this at all. This was not in the script for the Mervano Sim Racing driver. He was expecting to be in the lead of this race and setting off into the sunset with a Summer Cup trophy in the bag. But Stuart Mcfadden is back to fight another day, and he is determined to keep a hold of his place at the top of the standings. And look at that, 0.2 of a second still is the gap as we follow on board with Mcfadden now. And it's, let's see if Williamson can just use the slipstream. Don't think he's going to want to make a move down Paddock Hill Bend. I suspect Williamson is quite happy to bide his time as we approach the midway point of race number 1. Almost identical times from both drivers last time out, both hitting a 32.8. It just shows not only the level of pace but consistency that these two drivers bring to our SMRC championships. Two fantastic drivers. It's been great to watch them, and this is another real treat in store tonight. Both drivers just taking a little bit of the track and then some on exit. As we look down the order for Adam Brown making moves here, looking to put Michael Weddle under pressure. Weddle goes very, very defensive. Not one to give up the position as Michael Weddle goes on the outside. A little bit of contact between the two of them, but it's Adam Brown who takes 3rd place in this race. But Weddle, of course, got the slipstream now down the straight and down towards Pilgrim's Drop as they make their way into Hawthorne's, a very tricky right-hander that you take at pace. Weddle, I think, just going to think better of it as they make their way down Westfield, Dingledale and Sheen Curve. It's no point, it's follow the leader at that stage. I don't want to risk it and throw the car up the inside and risk both of these going into the gravel. So Weddle's just going to sit comfortably in 4th at the minute, and Aidan Wilson, all the meanwhile, is being just brought into contention here as well, because there's a good gap between him and the 82 of Scott Smith. So Aidan Wilson will just be quite happy to let these two guys scrap, and that will allow him to use the slipstream and just build a bit of a buffer between not just Scott Smith but the rest of the chasing pack as well. So here we go, lap number 5 is just about being gone. It's Jack Eyre still in 8th place. He's not managed to make any headway on Stuart Wyness, but McKinley and Dobie have both dropped off. So that's allowing Jack Eyre to focus on the cars in front. Back at the lead though, it's Mcfadden still leading the way from Fraser Williamson. Williamson, I suspect, just edging a little bit closer with every minute passing in this race. I wonder when he's going to make a move. And it will be very, very interesting to see what part of the track as well, of course, that he decides to do just that. Don't forget, of course, we've got our Reese Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day award up for grabs. So if there's anyone who catches your eye throughout the drama tonight, Let us know in the comments from wherever you're watching. We are streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook as well. Thanks very much for joining us for the finale of the Summer Cup. We'll be back for the Autumn Cup in 3 weeks' time, where we go into Formula Cars for that one. So it'll be a very different test for the drivers. But we've got one last hurrah in these Audi TCR cars. It's been our own version of the touring cars here in the SMRC. 6 minutes left in this one. Mcfadden still leading from Fraser Williamson. Adam Brown is 7 seconds, almost 8 seconds further down the road. Still scrapping with Michael Weddle for the final step in the podium, but it's these two that are leading the way at the front. Here's Weddle now, making, again, just gradually reeling in his Rethink Racing teammate Adam Brown. Further back, though, it looks like Jackie are perhaps going to make a move on Stuart Mcfadden. Just on the outside, though, wrong place for him to try and get a move done into Clark Curve, but he darts into the inside now, does Jack Air, and he looks like he's got the run as well. He's almost half a car length side him. Can he be brave on the brakes here and make it move? In fact, it looks like Stuart Mcfadden has just thought better of that and braked a little bit early, backed out, perhaps going to try and get a move into Druids. Will he throw the 61 car up the inside? Thinks better of it. Takes a bit of a wider line there from Jack Air. Of course, they are forced narrow into Druids, but it looks like Air's got that one covered off, and he'll be looking ahead to the 82 of Scott Smith, who's currently in 6th place in this race. So, under 5 minutes to go in the opener here tonight at the Brands Hatch circuit. 0.2 of a second is the gap at the front. Adam Brown in 3rd, followed by Weddle and Wilson in 5th place. Further down the order, we've got Ryan Smith being a driver, making some moves. He is currently there in 11th place at the moment, up 8 places from where he started. So he is certainly one of the real winners in this opener, a driver who's very much impressed in this one. Dale Smith also up 4 places from where he started. Stu Wyness, Andrew McKinley both up 5. So a number of drivers having impressive races in the opener, but of course we had so much drama early on as well. But that's part of the beauty of not just sim racing but motorsport in general, just keeping your car out of trouble and being there in the right place at the right time to pick up the pieces. So let's see if Fraser Williamson will make a move this time round. He's taken again a very defensive line as Mcfadden, forcing Williamson to go the long way around Paddock Hill Bend, and that again is just costing Williamson a little bit of momentum, particularly here on exit. You can just hear the gravel moving, it's making its way around the wheels there, and it's cost him again a little bit of grip, a little bit of pace, and all the meanwhile Mcfadden, a very, very good defensive driver, just knows where to put that car in the right place at the right time. Both drivers being liberal with the runoff at the exit. They're quite entitled to do it, take as much track as they can and then some. It's a late apex here into Surtees. Again, looking to use all of the track on exit and take the speed with you up the straight and then towards Pilgrim's Drop. Looks like Williamson, in fact, has dropped off a little bit from Mcfadden, and that means that it looks like, I think it's going to be perhaps a last lap move for Fraser Williamson if he wants to secure the win in race number 1. He's putting Mcfadden under all kinds of pressure, but Stuart Mcfadden, a very cool and calm customer. He's not the type to break, and very, very used to dealing with drivers trying all the tricks in the book to try and make a move, but it's not quite working out at the moment for Williamson. But of course, 8.5 seconds is the gap between them and the next car down the road, Adam Brown. So it's allowing Williamson just to really try and put on all the pressure. He doesn't have to worry about his rear view mirrors. He can just turn his attention fully towards the pure sim driver of Stuart Mcfadden. Further back now, Scott Smith looking to make a move on Aidan Wilson. Scott Smith in the red car, just dipping out the slipstream there and thinking better of it as they make their way around Clark Curve. Aidan Wilson having a very good race here in the opener. Started this one in 8th place, and a driver again that's one with pace and one that can very much hold his own here. But Scott Smith again just putting them under pressure as they make their way down Paddock Hill Bend and towards Druids. Druids has been that scene, of course, of some good overtaking opportunities potentially. One that Scott Smith's going to try, not quite close enough at this time. Andrew McKinley in 9th place, coming under pressure once again from Sean Dobie. So Sean Dobie has picked up the pace in the last few laps, putting McKinley under pressure. Not a lot between those two cars. Further back, it's Ryan Smith, followed by Dale Smith. Both of them having a right good scrap there as well, but Smith in the 94, the yellow and white car, just managing to fend off the 42 of Dale Smith at the moment. Further back, Mark Herron, Dave Bolton, Robert McGregor all having a right good scrap there as well. Herron, the 91 in the blue car, just got a little bit of a gap between the two of them. So Herring just looks like it'll be 13th, will be as good as he can get. The cars in front are too far up the road, but look at that, off goes McGregor, just having a little bit of a moment there on the exit of Surtees. That's going to cost him pace to make their way down the straight and gives Robert McGregor in the 117 car a little bit of a breather as they make their way into Hawthorns. But at the front, it's a flash of lights from Stuart Mcfadden. This will be the final lap of the race. A minute or so left to go in this one. So let's see if Williamson decides to make a move. Both cars flashing the lights there. In fact, that is the white flag. Out it goes. Both cars all set for absolutely thrilling finale in race number 1. And let's see if Mcfadden can hold on to that lead. He's led the way for every lap in this race so far. Williamson managing to fend off the threat of Adam Brown early on and then set his sights on Stuart Mcfadden. He's not managed to make the move into Druids. Surtees will give him a little bit of a chance to perhaps throw the car up there if he can get a good exit here from Graham Hill Bend. Looks like Mcfadden has just got enough to defend this position, though. Look how wide those cars are going into Surtees as well. It's a very late apex that both of them are taking, and Mcfadden clips it with perfection, managing to maximise speed on exit as well. Let's ride on board with the Movano Sim Racing driver, Fraser Williamson. It looks like there's a couple of tenths or so between him and Mcfadden. I don't think he's going to make a move into Hawthorns. Further back, Jack Hare having a scrap here with Scott Smith as well. Scott Smith on the 82 red car. Air with the inside, and Aidan Wilson just further ahead. Wilson giving Air a bit of a toe there perhaps. And let's see if, and can Scott Smith make that stick? Oh, he's very brave trying it on the outside. Jack Air managing to cover that gap, however. And back at the front, though, it's Mcfadden making his way out of Stirling's for the final time. They're going to go down Clearways and into Clark Curve. It looks like Stuart Mcfadden is going to make this one stick and take the win in the opener here tonight at Brands Hatch. It's Mcfadden who crosses the start-finishing line now. It's a flash of the lights. A delighted Stuart Mcfadden who takes the win in race number 1. Fraser Williamson in second place, followed by the Rethink Racing driver of Adam Brown in third place. And off goes Weddle. Off goes Weddle into Clark Curve. He hits the tyre wall and goes tumbling down the order. Disaster for Weddle. And let's see if he can just get that car moving at least. He has, thankfully, back onto the racetrack and well down the order. And he's got more cars there behind who won't, of course, know that Weddle's gone off. And he's just lost it under his own doing there. Just the back end of the car has just hit the grass and off he goes. And that seriously compromised his race. He's tumbling down to finish this one in 11th place. Ryan Smith managing to get past there on the start-finish line. Dale Smith not able to do so, unfortunately for him. But what a dramatic end to that race. And it's Stuart Mcfadden who takes the win. 0.3 of a second is the gap between him and Fraser Williamson. A really good scrap between two of them at the front, but some great scraps throughout the pack as well. A real dramatic opener here at Brands Hatch. So let's take a little look at the finishing results for race number 1. It was Mcfadden from Williamson, Adam Brown taking the final step on the podium, Aidan Wilson with an impressive 4th place finish, followed by Jack Hare, Scott Smith, Stuart Wyness, Andrew McKinley, Sean Doby, Ryan Smith rounding out the top 10. Michael Weddle in 11th place after drama at the finish, followed by Dale Smith, Mark Herron, David Bolton, Robert McGregor, John Proctor, John Higgins, Cameron Ritchie in 18th place. Last couple of drivers were Michael Mcpherson, Matthew McBride, James McIntosh, Sam Corden and Nathan Lamond, both not taking the start. And let's see if we'll see them out on track for the second race here tonight, which is going to get underway in a few moments' time. So just take a breath, folks, because that one was fantastic. And I suspect we're in for more of the same here in race number 2. So Mcfadden leading the way from Fraser Williamson and Adam Brown in third place. Williamson will be hoping for a better start this time round. He's on the outside, of course, which is compromising him. 3 lights go up, as do 4. 5 lights are up. Hold for a little bit longer this time, and we're away. It's another good start once again from Stuart Mcfadden. It's a better start this time from Williamson, though. But he's got, of course, Adam Brown in there to contend with. Aidan Wilson, Jack Hare looking to get involved as well. Air goes into 4th place. He's got the inside line as well as Jack Hare. Williamson managing to keep second, but he's on the outside into Druid. Watch out for the orange alloy cars of Adam Brown. Can he make it stick and take second place? He's got the shorter line. He's got the inside line. He's momentarily got second place, but can he make it stick into Graham Hill Bend for the first time of asking? Williamson not giving up without a fight. He wants this championship win. Manages to sit second. A little bit of contact between him and Adam Brown there. Down goes, and Andrew McKinley's had a moment. And he's off. Andrew McKinley goes off, and he's just lost that car. The back end got very tail happy. Down he goes and into the pit lane. So a disaster for Andrew McKinley in the opener. Back at the front though, Stuart Mcfadden has got a good bit of a gap here from Williamson and Ayr. And Adam Brown has gone from 3rd to 5th, unfortunately, in the space of a couple of laps. So let's see how things unfold for Jack Ayr, though. 4th place, it's been a good start for him. Very good clean getaway as well, it must be said. So let's see how he gets on with this one. It's Jack Ayr in 3rd place. Stuart Ryan has had a moment, is in pit lane, so just ignore that one on your timesheets, folks. So Ryan Smith's had a little bit of a moment though, but managing just to collect the car and bring it back onto track safely. But he's going to go down tumbling the order as the 41 goes past him on the outside here. Here's our race leader, Stuart Mcfadden though. Good gap here between him and Fraser Williamson. It looks like a second or so between them, so it's not a good sign so far for Williamson. Further down though, John Higgins, car number 5, coming under a little bit of pressure from Michael Mcpherson and then some. Weddle up into 5th place, so Weddle's had a good start, up 6 places, but off goes Robert McGregor. McGregor goes off, he collides with the barrier, and let's see if he can just bring that car out safely, and off goes another car as well into the gravel at Paddock Hill Bends, and that's all kicking off once again in race number 2. Aidan Wilson just gone tumbling down the order a little bit for him, unfortunately. A little bit of a scrap here with Michael Mcpherson looking to get involved. Up into 9th place goes Michael Mcpherson. He's got the move on John Higgins. Higgins goes down to 10th. Michael Mcpherson, remember, started this race in 19th place, already up to 9th, so it's been a great couple of laps for him. And if he's one driver that's caught your eye here, don't forget we've got the Driver of the Day award sponsored by Reese Motorsport Insurance. So let us know in the comments, wherever you're watching from, who you think the driver of the day is. We'll take a look and announce the winner after the final race here tonight. So at the front, it's Mcfadden. 1.8 seconds is the gap between him and Fraser Williamson. This is a disaster for Williamson, but fantastic for Mcfadden. In fact, 10 seconds now is the gap momentarily between Mcfadden and Williamson. And look at this, 3 wide, surely not. 3 wide, it doesn't quite, thankfully does not quite happen there into Clarkcroft. 3 Rethink Racing drivers deciding to back out of that one. So it's Weddle, and now into 3rd place goes Michael Weddle. It's been a great couple of laps for him. Jack Ayr into 4th. Adam Brown has dropped down to 5th place. Started this one in 3rd, of course, from the 2nd row of the grid. Scott Smith looking to get involved here though as well. The red car on the outside into Druids for the 3rd time of asking. Not enough for Scott Smith to make this one stick. In fact, it's bringing Sean Dobie and Mark Heron into contention. Sean Dobie's had an impressive race here, it must be said. Kept the car out of trouble and just gradually making his way up the order as the 159 car. Just got Mark Heron looking to get into the mix as well. Michael Mcpherson is still coming under a little bit of pressure from John Higgins and David Bolton. Back at the front though, it's Brown in 4th, Weddle ahead of him. Scott Smith, let's right on board with him. He's got Jack Ayr just ahead of him, couple of tenths of a second between both of those cars. Scott Smith started this race in 6th, and that's where he is at the moment, keeping that car out of trouble and gradually reeling in the Rethink Racing drivers ahead of him. And it's Adam Brown just darting out the slipstream there momentarily. It's a dab of the brakes from Jack Ayr though, as he's seen both of those cars fighting and just wanted to give himself a little bit of breathing space, and perhaps sitting there to pick up the pieces as a result of that. That's given Michael Weddle a little bit of a breathing space, in fact, from Adam Brown. It's Brown and Ayr now who are beginning to scrap. Weddle can now turn his attention to Fraser Williamson and try and get involved with the 2 at the front. Scott Smith darting out the slipstream momentarily, not quite enough to make a move. He's just trying to get himself busy in the mirrors of the 13 of Jack Ayr. Get Ayr thinking a little bit here as they make their way down the straight and into Paddock Hill Bend. Mark Heron also taking the benefit of the slipstream here, and it's and the red car of Scott Smith not quite close enough this time of asking. The car's got a little bit unsettled in into Paddock Hill Bend. Manages to keep it under control, does Scott, with a good bit of car control there, but that again is bringing Dobie and Heron into contention and allowing Jack Ayr just to pull away also alongside his Rethink Racing teammate Adam Brown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in a train here, all very much able to compete and take 3rd place in this race. But it's Williamson and Mcfadden who are both just disappearing into the sunset. Mcfadden, in fact, has just put out the fastest lap of the race with a 33.0, and that was in fact 1.7 seconds quicker than Williamson last time round. So Williamson's had a major moment last time round, and the gap has gone to 4 seconds between the two of them. So Williamson's got a little bit of work to do here if he wants to win this Summer Cup, because Stuart Mcfadden's very much in the driving seat at the moment. Further back though, Robert McGregor having a good scrap here with a number of drivers. He's got James McIntosh and Ryan Smith ahead of him, but Robert McGregor is also coming under pressure from Del Smith as well on the number 42 car. Del Smith started this race in 12th place and just gone back in. In fact, Sean Dobie's had a moment. Sean Dobie's gone off. Let's see what happened there. It's been a disaster for him. Let's just see, it's a little bit similar to the incident there with Michael Weddle. It's just the back end of the car, he's dropped a wheel onto the grass and it's rotated, and there's not a lot Dobie could do about that one, unfortunately. So he goes tumbling down the order. But back at the front row, as we almost approach the midway point of race number 2, it's Stuart Mcfadden with a gap of almost 4.2 seconds between him and Fraser Williamson. So it's been a very different race compared to the opener, and there's been a hip check there into Paddock Hill Bend. Off goes Ryan Smith. He's just kissed the barrier there, so hopefully minimal damage for the 94 car. Further damage and further contact for the 436. Down goes James McIntosh. Just manages to keep that car facing the right way, thankfully. And it looks like Del Smith managed to avoid that one there as well. Lots of drivers just coming together here in race number 2 with 5 laps gone in this race. All the meanwhile, that man there, Michael Mcpherson, is picking up the pieces and into 8th place in this race. Started the race in 19th place, remember, and now in 8th after 5 laps. So very impressive driving so far from the number 16 car, and he has got the 91 of Mark Herring to go and make a move on to next. All the meanwhile, Scott Smith managing to get a bit of a gap between him and Herring now, and again putting pressure once more on the 13 of Jack Hare. Jack Hare in 5th place in the race at the moment. It looks like a bit of a gap between him and Adam Brown, so let's see if Scott Smith can reel in Jack Hare and make a move for 5th place in this race. Hare getting a little bit upset there on exit. Car just dancing to make their way out of Stirling's as they head now into the right-hander of Clark Curve. Well taken by Scott Smith, again maximising the track on exit. And let's see if he can just get a little bit of a tow from Jack Hare along the straight. Back at the front row, it's Mcfadden from Williamson. It's a better lap last time round from Fraser Williamson, down to 33.1. But the gap is just 4.3 seconds between the two at the front. Weddle coming under pressure now from Adam Brown. Adam Brown beginning to think about making a move. The orange alloy car looking to get a move on here. Weddle taking a very, very narrow defensive line into Graham Hill Bend as they make their way into Surtees for the 6th time of asking. 6 minutes left in race number 2. Look at that, there's centimetres between the bumpers of Weddle and Brown. Let's see if Brown makes a move this time round. He's dancing from left to right, trying to get Weddle to commit to a position. And now Adam Brown goes to the outside. Weddle will run him wide and he'll secure that place, I suspect. Oh, they almost touch on exit. Jack Hare looking to get involved as well. Scott Smith just hanging back here, in fact, and perhaps suspecting if these drivers all come together, I'll be there to pick up the pieces. But it's still Weddle from Brown. Jack Hare in 5th place. Scott Smith in 6th. Weddle coming under pressure once again here from Adam Brown. Adam Brown's not one to mess about. Darts out, and he throws that car up the inside. It was a late move into Stirling's corner. It's not managed to work out for this time, but that's bringing Jack Hare into the mix here. Hare's got a bit of a run here. Brown is out of the tow, and Jack Hare is perhaps one to make a move here as they go into Paddock Hill Bend and make their way across the start-finish line. Weddle is, again, he's not defending this one quite so much. It's Brown that's having to go on the defensive from Hare. Hare on the outside. Let's see if he was going to make it stick. He just backs out here. He's going to try and get a cut back on exit. Not managing to make it stick at this time. Will he throw the car up the inside into Drews? No, he's committing to the outside. Scott Smith, though, not committing to this one. Just happy to bide his time with 5 and a bit minutes left in this race. So it's Williamson in 2nd, well up the way and on the road. Just see him there into the distance. So it's Weddle from Brown, Hare and Smith. There's Williamson there. So it's Weddle not going to be able to put any pressure on the front two. He's got the pressure, however, from several cars here looking to get involved into the mix. Look at that, Michael Mcpherson now up into 7th place. And who knows, he could perhaps secure that one, because you've got John Higgins and Mark Ken a little bit down the road with a couple of laps left in this race. It's Aidan Wilson in 10th place there, car number 12, and he's got a good gap between him and David Bolton. James McIntosh, who of course had an incident in the opener, currently 12th place in this race. So let's see if he can make a move here, perhaps on the red car of Bolton, thinking better of it, just a little bit too far behind this time round. But back at the front, though, it's Stuart Mcfadden. 4.3 seconds is the gap. But did you see that? The tail end of your screen there, he's got a little bit of traffic now to contend with. 2 cars scrapping along the road. So if Mcfadden can clear them quickly, then that will be making his championship bid all the more easier. Into 5th gear, down into 4th, hooking that car up there onto the curb and then letting it run wide on exit as he makes his way up the hill here and into Druids. Let's see if he can just hook that car up nicely on entry. He's just one who has posted against a 33 flat for both Mcfadden and Williamson last time round, so the gap hasn't increased between the pair of them. But Mcfadden's a driver that we know is all about consistency. He's just a calculated driver who is just very smooth and composed throughout, and he can just deliver the fast laps time after time after time, and that is the sign of a good driver. Meanwhile, this battle for 3rd place is hotting up as Adam Brown is forced on the outside into Surtees. That's bringing Jack Eyre into the mix. Let's see if Eyre can take 4th place along the straight. I think Michael Weddle's just struggling a little bit for pace here. Perhaps Jack Eyre looking to get involved. Weddle's just having to focus on the rear. He's having to focus on the rear view mirrors. He can't focus on pace here. It's just all about defending. Weddle, of course, started this race in 11th place, so it's been a cracking second race from the Rethink Racing driver, but he's got his 2 teammates here and Scott Smith into the bargain, all looking to take the final step on the podium in race number 2. Weddle can't focus on pace, he's got to focus on defending, and it's Brown perhaps trying to make a move there, but Brown's now come under pressure from Eyre, and that's music to the ears of Weddle, because as long as these 3 guys behind him scrap, that can allow Weddle just to eke off a little bit of a gap between them. Let's ride on board with 6th place man Scott Smith, who's got a perfect view of the 3 Rethink Racing drivers battling ahead of him. Scott Smith in 6th place, 2 seconds of a gap between him and Michael Mcpherson. Eyre just committing to the inside there and then taking a wide line on exit. In fact, Eyre's had a little bit of a moment there on exit. The car just dancing a little bit throughout. That's bringing Scott Smith once more into contention. And will Scott Smith throw the car up the inside? He thinks better of it. Eyre again taking the inside very early. Scott Smith is just one who's letting the car hang out a little bit wider and then taking a late apex into Druids, and that's just allowing him to then build up the speed down Graham Hill and into the Graham Hill bend. Further back though, Mark Heron in 9th place, good gap between him and this man. 10th place driver Aidan Wilson, James McIntosh and Robert McGregor, David Bolton and Dale Smith have been having a right good scrap throughout this one, but let's see if Dale Smith in 14th can perhaps make a move. Further back, the recovering Sean Dobie, after having an incident earlier on. It's a rather lonely 16th place for him at the moment, unfortunately. Back at the front though, this is the race leader, Stuart Mcfadden, now coming under a little bit of traffic. It's Andrew McKinley in front of him, so he's already managed to make his way past Cameron Ritchie. So he's got McKinley to contend with here with not a lot of time left in this race, but perhaps we will be approaching the final lap here, I suspect. So Andrew McKinley, a back marker. McKinley will of course be well aware that McFadden is there and will pull off at the start finish straight here, perhaps. Yes, he does indeed start off to the right. In fact, he just starts off to the outside, allows McFadden through it. There's the white flag being waved by the race official. That means it's the last lap of race number 2. Don't forget, we've got a reverse grid to contend with for the finale, and that means it will be John Higgins starting that one from pole position as things stand. But this is the scrap for 3rd place we want to keep an eye on. Michael Weddle very, very well in race number 2, but can he hold on for just one more lap, because Adam Brown is putting him under all kinds of pressure. Jack Eyre and Scott Smith just a little bit further back this time round, so it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race perhaps at the moment, unless Eyre can just string together a couple of good corners along with Scott Smith. Weddle coming under pressure once again as they come into Surtees for the final time in race number 2. Looks like Weddle's taking a narrower line there, and that's just to cover off any threat from Adam Brown. Let's see if Brown can get the drive down the straight here as they make their way down Pilgrim's Drop and into Hawthorns. And Brown committing early, again just trying to look busy in the rear view mirrors of Weddle, just to try and distract Weddle in this tricky technical part of the track. It's all about just clipping the apexes and keeping the car out of trouble. Weddle managing to live to fight another day at the moment, but it's that man Stuart Mcfadden who's going to make it 2 wins from 2 from Fraser Williamson, and he's got one hand on this Summer Cup trophy. So it's Mcfadden from Williamson, Michael Weddle in 3rd at the moment, Brown and Eyre just scrapping behind him. Weddle's got a little bit of a gap though, so I suspect That's going to be enough to secure third. But it's Stuart Mcfadden who comes across the start-finish line to take the win in race number 2. And it's been an impressive couple of races from the Pure Sims driver. Fraser Williamson in second place, just a little bit too far back this time round. Weddle holding on to third place with a very impressive drive, starting that one from 11th place. So fair play to Michael Weddle. That's a very, very impressive drive. Jack here bowing out in style there as well. Michael Mcpherson in 7th, and a little bit of contact there for good measure as well. So drama at the start and drama after the races as well. That's the SMRC eSports Summer Cup for you. Off goes Robert McGregor as well after this one. And the drivers very much taking a bit of a breather after race number 2. That was another dramatic race. So let's take a look at the results from race number 2. Don't forget, of course, this will mean that we've got the reverse grid to contend with for the finale. So let's see how the order came round as we'll just wait for the last couple of drivers just to come across the start-finish line in race number 2. 3 cars still to cross the start-finish line. John Proctor, Sean Dobie, Stuart Mcfadden, all down there. 15th, 16th and 17th. All the drivers finishing would, of course, score points. You can score points up to 25th in our championships. So we'll take a look in a little moment at the finishing order for race number 2. That was another dramatic race, wasn't it? James McIntosh, another driver worth giving a shout out to, finishing that one in 11th, started in 21st place. So very impressive drive from him. Michael Mcpherson finishing in 7th, started this race, 19th place. So very, very impressive drive from him. So don't forget, of course, we've got the Reese Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day. So keep an eye out on them. Let us know who you think should be winning that accolade. So the results after race number 2, it's Stuart Mcfadden from Fraser Williamson. 4.5 seconds was the gap in the end. Michael Weddle securing the final step on the podium with a fantastic defensive drive. Adam Brown putting him under all kinds of pressure. 0.3 of a second was the gap between them, but Adam Brown just couldn't quite manage to make a move at the end. Jack Hare and Scott Smith, again, both having impressive drives. Michael Mcpherson in 7th, followed by John Higgins. Mark Heron in 9th place, and Aidan Wilson rounding out the top 10. It was James McIntosh in 11th, followed by Robert McGregor, David Bolton, Del Smith, John Proctor, Sean Dobie, Stuart Mcfadden, and then Andrew McKinley in 18th place. Last couple of drivers to mention on the timesheets: Cameron Ritchie, Ryan Smith, Matthew McBride, Sam Corson, and Nathan Lamont, both not taking the start once again in race number 2, unfortunately. So we've got a 5-minute or so gap between now and race number 3. Let's and of course, let's take a little look now ahead to the next event that we've got, and that is, of course, the Autumn Cup, where we'll move to a completely different car for that one. It's a Formula car for that event. We've had the Mazda MX-5s in the opener in the Spring Cup. Of course, we've got our Audi RS3 TCR cars in the Summer Cup, but it's a very different car for the Spring Cup. So here's our schedule for the Autumn Cup. We're going to start at a brand new track in iRacing. That's the Red Bull Ring, a fantastic, fast-flowing track. The scene, of course, of the Styrian and Austrian Grand Prix. Then we're off to Imola for round number 2, followed by another classic venue in the world of motorsports, Spa-Francorchamps, followed by Interlagos, back to Silverstone for the Grand Prix layout in the Formula Renault, and then the finale at Suzuka. And I love to see that Suzuka for the finale. That was the old traditional Formula 1 last race many, many years ago, and a scene, of course, of so many talking points over the years. Will we see our own big incident perhaps in the finale at Suzuka? We'll have to wait and see, but it will be the Formula Renault cars that the drivers will be getting behind the wheel of there. So let's have a little sneak preview of our Autumn Cup with a great trailer here to preview the action. So that's what we've got in store for the Formula Renault Autumn Cup. 6 fantastic tracks in the world of motorsport, and it's I think we're going to be in with some fantastic action throughout in those ones. So the Formula Renault car, of course, is one that many drivers over the years would use to cut their teeth as they made their steps up the ladder in the world of motorsport. It's a car with 210 brake horsepower, 2-litre engine, of course, goes without saying. It's only about 506 kilos, so very, very light car. We're looking at about top speeds of 156 miles an hour in those ones, 0 to 60 time of about 3.3 seconds. So it's a very, very different offering that we've had in any of our SMRC eSports racing events. And of course, it might be one where we'll see another couple of different drivers come to the fore, because when we've been speaking to some of the drivers after the races, some of them maybe perhaps not so keen on the Audi TCR car, but were happier in the Mazda. There's some who weren't quite so happy with the Mazda, but are much happier with this Audi car. So lots of different driving styles out there on track, and it'll be interesting to see how they shape up in the Formula Renault. Of course, we might see some new faces as well for the this final cup in the 2021 calendar. We can, of course, welcome a number of new drivers there throughout. We may see some returning drivers from the Spring Cup as well. So keep an eye out for some familiar faces and some new ones out there as well. So that action, of course, getting underway from the 1st of September, and that'll see us through towards the end of the year for our SMRC activities. So thanks very much for joining us for the finale of this Summer Cup. It's been some fantastic racing in the first two ones, and we're all set for the final race in our Summer Cup. It's Stuart Mcfadden with one hand on the trophy. If he finishes ahead of Fraser Williamson, he's got it in the bag. It's 11 points at the moment is the gap between Stuart Mcfadden and Fraser Williamson. So Williamson's got his work cut out here, and he needs Stuart Mcfadden to run into trouble. Now, what does, of course, go in Fraser Williamson's favour is the reverse grid. It's Stuart Mcfadden that will be starting this race from 8th place. Williamson has got a one place head start. So if you can get away cleanly, you can perhaps make a bit of a move, and he'll be looking for a couple of drivers round about him to get involved and try and slow down Stuart Mcfadden. So it's still very much all to play for. McFadden's in the driving seat. Fraser Williamson is absolutely not out of this one just yet. The lights go up for the finale. It's John Higgins starting from pole position ahead of Michael Mcpherson. 5 lights go up, and they go away quickly this time. John Higgins making a good start, as does Michael Mcpherson. Scott Smith on the inside with the red car. Jack Hare darting out as well in the purple car on the outside. Scott Smith got the inside, surely got second place into the bargain as well. Takes a little bit of the curb there. In fact, Mcpherson making that one stick. Credit to Mcpherson. Williamson and McFadden, though, scrapping as they go into Druids for the first time of asking. And McFadden goes very, very wide, takes it sensible on exit, but it is costing him a little bit of position here potentially, because he's got Heron and McIntosh getting involved. Michael Weddle in 7th place. Fraser Williamson up into 6th place. Scott Smith has just had a little bit of a moment there and dropped down momentarily. So it's Williamson in 6th. And McFadden has just leapfrogged Williamson. In fact, both drivers, the 2 championship protagonists, have been battling out here on track in the opening lap. It's Williamson down to 8th. In fact, Williamson having a little bit of a moment here. McFadden up into 6th place. Let's see how things will unfold. McFadden and Williamson trading places once again. The 53 car on the outside. Scott Smith looking to get involved. So Williamson momentarily ahead. Scott Smith, though, is in the red car looking to get into a bit of a scrap between these 2 protagonists, though. So Scott Smith momentarily took the inside line there, but thought better of it and darted back into the slipstream. Back at the front row, it's John Higgins with a 0.5 of a second gap between Michael Mcpherson. Jack Hare in 3rd place with Weddle in 4th. Brown in 5th place, but Williamson now in 6th from McFadden in 7th. So McFadden's got to get a move on here, but Williamson, of course, is going to try. Will he perhaps just take a couple of easy laps here and just try and force? And there's contact! There's contact! This is it. Both cars have gone into contact. Fraser Williamson is into the barriers, and that is going to have massive ramifications for not just his Summer Cup hope, but his overall championship hopes as well. Drama between the 2 championship protagonists. Let's see it once more. McFadden tags Williamson. And Williamson was on the outside going into Paddock Hill Bend. That car has got all sorts of damage. Off goes Williamson, and he goes tumbling down the order and down into 20th place. Stuart Mcfadden not quite come out that one unscathed, though, down into 7th. And that's going to be a real big talking point after this race. Stuart Mcfadden, he'll say, I had the inside line, I was entitled to have my car in there. And Fraser Williamson will say, in no way were you. I was a car in front. The leader has the corner. I was entitled to take that position. That was an absolutely monumental moment, not just in this Summer Cup, but an overall championship. Fraser Williamson down in 20th place, a car with damage, and his hopes are in tatters. Back at the front, though, James McIntosh in 7th place, one driver who's really benefited from all the madness. Started this race in 11th, so it's been a good start to his final race here in the Summer Cup. A driver who's again got one that's grown in confidence as I've gone on, and a very fast driver, and just getting some good results into the bargain as well. Back at the front, it's John Higgins coming under a bit of pressure now from Michael Mcpherson. Mcpherson perhaps sniffing a race win here. He's had a good couple of races, has the green and white car, but Jack Eyre getting into the mix there as well. Eyre got the inside line though, and he's got the elbows out. Jack Eyre goes into 2nd place in this race. Mcpherson not giving up without a fight though, because Mcpherson's now got the inside. Little bit of contact between the two of them on exit of Graham Hill Bend. Wide goes Jack Eyre. Mcpherson taking the inside. Mcpherson still not giving up without a fight as they go into Surtees for the 3rd time of asking. Michael Mcpherson holding on to 2nd place in this race. I mean, he's holding on and no more, because Jack Eyre was fighting that one all the way, but he's had to surrender the position on the straight. Jack Eyre into 3rd place in this race. And Adam Brown now looking to get involved as well. Aaron Brown having some great battles throughout this finale at Brands Hatch. Further down, though, Mark Heron, another driver who's had an impressive 3 races, coming under pressure from Stu Wyness and David Bolton. Matthew McBride looking to get involved into the mix there as well. Fraser Williamson not making any headway, unfortunately. And with a car with this significant damage, it's going to be very difficult for him to make moves. But there's been a little bit of drama further ahead, though. The blue car's just gone wide. It's Stuart Wyness. Can he recover that car safely? He does, just behind Sean Dobie in 14th place. So it's been a dramatic lap number 3 for Wyness. Back at the front, though, it's John Higgins with a gap of 1.1 seconds between him and Michael Mcpherson. So Mcpherson's just dropped off slightly. Sean Dobie's had a little bit of a moment, though, because Dobie's gone tumbling down the order on the left-hand side. And oh my goodness, I thought Jack Eyre made it 3 wide there, but he hasn't. He's just managed to secure 3rd place, so because you've got Adam Brown and Michael Weddle, again 2 Rethink Racing drivers, putting them under pressure. Brown got the inside line there with the orange alloys. Weddle car number 7 just lurking in 5th place. It's followed the Pure Sims driver Stuart Mcfadden, though, that we're riding on board with in 6th place at the moment. So Mcfadden could perhaps make a move there, throws the car early into the inside of Surtees, committing, trying to make a move on Weddle. A little bit of a hip check there by Adam Brown on Jack Eyre. Jack Eyre goes tumbling down into 6th place, recovering back on track, though, coming under pressure from James McIntosh and Stuart Mcfadden, using all the track and then the grass to go side by side here on Adam Brown, not quite managing to make that one stick. And Michael Weddle, though, another defensive masterclass from car number 7, taking 3rd place at the moment with 5 minutes gone in this race. So it's Weddle from Brown, from Stuart Mcfadden, James McIntosh and Jack Eyre. Now Jack Eyre tumbling down the order, of course, after a bit of a moment between him and Adam Brown. Weddle coming under pressure once more, but Stuart Mcfadden not giving this one up without a fight. Mcfadden is leaving nothing on the table here in the finale. Coming out the slipstream, though, just again trying to make himself look big and look busy in the mirrors of Brown and Weddle. Weddle forcing Brown out on the outside of Clark Curve. Weddle taking a very narrow defensive line. Looks like Stuart Mcfadden's going to perhaps try and follow him through here into Paddock Hill Bend, and just both of them force Adam Brown out wide and leave him out there to drive. And Brown's gone very wide indeed on his own doing. That's bringing Stuart Mcfadden into 4th place, and he'll have that one covered off unless Brown has a little bit of a late lunge. He thinks better of it, but there's contact further behind between Brown and James McIntosh. More further contact there. Jack Eyre involved as well, just as a bit of a passenger. The 436 of James McIntosh goes tumbling down the order. And I suspect there'll be a bit of a protest after that one. There'll be a number of drivers not happy with that move. James McIntosh, though, has come out worse for wear and goes tumbling down the order. Matthew McBride, in the meanwhile, in 10th place, has had a very impressive race. Started this one from 21st place. It's James McIntosh, though, down into 16th. He's got a little bit of pressure from the number 4 of David Bolton. Dale Smith also looking lively further behind. Back at the front, though, John Higgins down. Look at that gap now. It's down to 0.4 of a second. It was over 1.1 at one stage. Jacquier just running a little bit wide further down the screen. Weddle, though, has surrendered third place to Mcfadden. Mcfadden makes a move on the outside. Adam Brown looking to follow him through. It looks like Weddle's going to go from third to fifth in the space of a couple of corners. And it's Adam Brown into fourth place. Weddle not giving up without a fight, though. Perhaps throwing that car up the inside, just backing out at the last moment. Weddle now into fifth place of this race. So it's Mcfadden from Brown, Michael Weddle in third, then it's Jacquier just down the road, the purple and silver Rethink Racing car in sixth place, followed by a train led by Wilson, Von McGregor and Heron. Matthew McBride in 10th place. So McBride looking to make a move on Heron. McBride's got the inside line and got the drive as well on the exit of Clark, so I suspect that he'll have that one secured as they make their way into the entry of Paddock Hill Bend. He does indeed. Matthew McBride takes third place, though, and Mark Heron perhaps having a little bit of a move on the cut back there. Scott Smith, the red car 82, also looking to get into the mix here into Druids for the sixth time of asking. A little bit further back there is Scott Smith, a bit damage there on the front of the car as well from a moment earlier on, and McBride got the inside into, and for further contact between McBride and Heron there. A little bit of panel beating there into Graham Hill Bend, and there's been a change at the lead. There's been a change at the front. Michael Mcpherson's made a move on John Higgins. We'll get a look at that one just to see where that happened. Let's see where Mcpherson made the move. And in fact, it's been a moment for John Higgins. John Higgins has gone wide. That's allowed Mcpherson to nip up the inside and say, thanks very much. I'll take that. And I'll go into the lead of this race with 6 minutes left to go. So it's Mcpherson now from Higgins. Stuart Mcfadden in third place. Brown in fourth, then Weddle dropping down into fifth place. Eyre in sixth, McGregor in seventh, Wilson from Smith, McBride rounding out the top 10. But I suspect that is not how the order of this finale will finish. Lots of drivers getting the elbows out and looking to make moves for the last time in these Audi TCR cars. Let's get a little bit of a replay of a moment from earlier. This was the one between Williamson and Mcfadden, and I think that's going to be a massive talking point, folks. Mcfadden says, I've got the inside line. Like, he's got the inside line there, but he's not got, Williamson's got his nose in front. He's on the outside. Williamson will say, I've got the corner. Mcfadden will say, I can't disappear. I've got the inside line. I've got to turn in. I've got to try and make my corner as well. But that's going to have, I suspect the stewards will be taking a little bit of a look at that one. Of course, remember that all results in our races are provisional. And that means that, of course, what we see on the road isn't necessarily the final standings. And it's Mcfadden who is currently in third place at the moment. We'll just get back to the live action in a moment. It's Mcfadden in third place from Adam Brown, Michael Weddle in seventh. Back at the gap at the front, though, it's Mcpherson, who's got 0.6 of a second from John Higgins. Stuart Mcfadden, third place at the moment, followed by Adam Brown and Weddle. Last time round, it was Michael Mcpherson, 0.3 of a second quicker from John Higgins. Stuart Mcfadden, though, just gradually beginning to reel in the front three. Adam Brown just 0.8 of a second further back. So it's Mcpherson from Higgins with Stuart Mcfadden still rounding out the final step of the podium. With not long left in this one. There is the live picture now of Michael Mcpherson leading the way from John Higgins. John Higgins will come under a little bit of pressure. Both cars going to have to deal with a back marker here as well, so that's going to make the last 4 minutes of this race very, very interesting to say the least. And will it bring Stuart Mcfadden into the mix as well? I suspect. Let's see how things unfold. Mcfadden got a little bit of damage on the rear of that car due to the earlier incident. Further back, though, Fraser Williamson has managed to make some moves, though, up into 15th place. Up into 14th now, in fact, as he made the move on the inside of the yellow 94 of Ryan Smith. So Williamson managing just to pick up momentum here. He's racing for pride now, and he's got the blue and orange car of Andrew McKinley just a little bit further up the head of him as well. So Stuart Mcfadden in third place. I think he could go for a race win here. There's not a lot between them. Adam Brown in fourth. Adam Brown and Weddle have been having some fantastic battling throughout. Jack Eyre, of course, very much in the mix there as well. But 3 and a bit minutes left to go for the final time in the Audi TCR cars before we move to the Formula Renault 2.0 for the Autumn Cup. So let's see how things unfold for this one. It's Brown in fourth place. A good gap between him and Weddle, though, so he's going to survive as they go into Hawthorns, Westfield and Dingledale this time round with no pressure whatsoever. Weddle, though, coming under a little bit of pressure, though, from Air, it must be said. Air's having a good couple of laps there. Last time round, it was a 33.2 for car number 13. John Higgins, though, second place man, who we're on board with at the moment, is just being gradually reeled in by the Pure Sims driver, Stuart Mcfadden. Stuart Mcfadden, they're just in third place at the moment, but he'll want second. He'll want to finish this one in style. He's got 2 wins under his belt, of course, in this one. Flash of the lights there from Mcfadden. Again, just looking to make himself lively and just say to Higgins, I'm here, I'm closing you down, and I'm going to try and make a move. And he's gradually reeling in Higgins once more. He's got a very, very good run down the Bradham Straight here, it must be said. Will he make a move into Paddock Hill Bend? And he does indeed. Higgins goes wide. Mcfadden takes the inside. Little bit of a hit check there on exit, but again, that's just 2 cars but trying to fight for the same bit of road. Stuart Mcfadden goes into second place of this race, posts the fastest line of the race into the bargain with a 32.7, and now sets his sights firmly on the green and white car of Michael Mcpherson, our race leader. Mcpherson, who's had an impressive event throughout, wanting to end this one in style, does car number 16. Michael Mcpherson is a driver who's not won a race so far in our Summer Cup, but is a driver who we know is very much capable of doing it. He's been on the podium 3 times so far. Best result was a second place finish in the inaugural round in this event, and he's perhaps one contender alongside a couple of others for our recent Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day. So if there's someone who's caught your eye, let us know in the comments from wherever you're watching. We are live on Twitch, YouTube and Facebook. Thanks very much for joining us here for the finale in the Summer Cup. I'm sure you'll agree it's been some very entertaining racing in all 3 races. It's not done yet because Fraser Williamson looking to make a move on Andrew McKinley, the blue car, number 10. McKinley in 13th place at the moment. Williamson, though, has got alongside him. Can he make it stick, though? And McKinley just backing out of that one as they make their way through Sheen Curve and into Stirling's here. And it's Fraser Williamson from 20th and up into 13th. That is an impressive recovery drive, it must be said. Meanwhile, back at the front, though, Michael Mcpherson. This will be the final lap of this race. The white flag is out from the race director. Michael Mcpherson for the final time here down Paddock Hill Bend. He's got the lead of this race. Can he take his first win in this Summer Cup? And Stuart Mcfadden looking to make it a treble here to wrap up a Summer Cup title for him. Remember, all results, of course, being provisional as they stand. 0.3 of a second is the gap between Mcpherson and Mcfadden. Mcpherson just managing to make this one stick. Let's ride on board with the Pure Sims driver of Stuart Mcfadden. He makes a late lunge into Surtees. Does he make it stick though? Side by side. There's contact between the pair of them. Stuart Mcfadden not managing to make the move stick. We've got a back marker in front of them. It looks like the 436 of James McIntosh. Both drivers, both of our leaders will have to contend with this. There's another flash of the lights from Stuart Mcfadden, the 53 car. He says, I'm not too happy about that one, and I'm not finished yet. He's going to make a move here, perhaps, as they make their way around the Westfield, Dingledale and Sheen Curve trio. Side by side stuff there, almost on exit. Look at that. Oh, in fact, he's just backed out his Mcfadden. It was always going to make it too wide. Here we go, last couple of corners. Mcpherson managing to fend it off. He'll take a narrow line here into Stirling's for the final time. That's going to close the door on Stuart Mcfadden and make him take the long way around. It doesn't work out for him. The back marker gets out the way. And good sensible driving there. Mcpherson again perhaps going to take a narrow line into Clark Curve for the final time. And it looks like it's going to be Michael Mcpherson who takes the win in the final here at Brands Hatch. Car number 16 with a very impressive event throughout. It's Mcpherson from Mcfadden. John Higgins rounding off the final step of the podium. And it's Adam Brown in 4th place, Michael Weddle and Jack Eyre in 5th and 6th place. But it's Mcfadden who crosses the start-finish line. He is your provisional SMRC Esports Racing Summer Cup champion. And it's been a dramatic finale from start to finish in this one. The returning Stuart Mcfadden, who had to wait on the sidelines. He couldn't take part in Silverstone. We thought he wasn't going to be able to take part in any of the events, but he came back for the Brands Hatch finale, and he is your provisional SMRC Esports Racing Summer Cup champion, the Pure Sims driver, Stuart Mcfadden. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing the thoughts of him and a number of drivers after this race. There was plenty of big talking points in that one. And I have to say that was some great racing throughout. But of course, we've got our recent Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day winner to announce as well for the final time in our Summer Cup. There's been some very, very impressive drives throughout the field, but I think for this one, we'll have to give it to our race winner in the finale, car number 16 driver Michael Mcpherson, who took the win in the finale. Some fantastic driving throughout and a worthy winner of our Reese Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day award. So we'll hear the thoughts of Michael and a number of the protagonists in that dramatic race in a few moments' time. I look forward to catching up to the drivers and hearing what they've got to say. So there's our Reese Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day winner. It's Michael Mcpherson. And it was a great 3 races from car number 16. He'll be more than happy with the way he has rounded off his Summer Cup campaign. So let's catch up with a number of the drivers who are already in the waiting room. We're spoilt for choice, as always. So many drivers in there. John Higgins Jr. worth giving a quick shout out to. That was the first podium for him as well in that one. Really, really good driving from him. But let's catch up with a number of the drivers. And I think we've got to catch up with our driver of the day, first of all, and the winner of race number 3. So let's catch up now. Let's catch up with Michael Mcpherson. Michael, you took the checkered flag there in the finale in fantastic style, but there was 3 excellent drives in the finale here at Brands Hatch. So you are a worthy winner of our Reese Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day award. Many, many congratulations. And it was some sustained pressure as well, I have to say. There was a time in that final where I thought, oh, you've got this one wrapped up. And then it just the drivers were just making themselves lively in the rear view mirrors and putting you under pressure. But there was some great defensive driving from you. And you must be delighted to end your Summer Cup on a high as well, because you're a driver that we know has got the pace. And you've underlined that here tonight.
In the reverse top 8, so yeah, that played in my favour massively, and yeah, absolutely delighted. It was great fun.
No, absolutely. And as we've got, of course, the Autumn Cup in a few weeks' time as well. Will you be taking part in that one?
Yeah, I think given that I'm not on night shift at work, I should be able to do them all. But yeah, fingers crossed I'll make them.
No, excellent stuff. That would be good. Very, very congratulations for the Reese Motorsport Insurance Driver of the Day award, Michael Mcpherson. Congratulations on that drive. We look forward to seeing you hopefully in the Autumn Cup as well. And well done on some impressive drives throughout the night.
Thank you very much, Andy.
That was Michael Mcpherson there. Let's catch up with our champion from this Summer Cup. It is, of course, the Pure Sims driver, Stuart Mcfadden, who joins us now. Let's hear from Stuart Mcfadden. Stuart, many congratulations. First of all, very surprised that you came back here. We thought you were out of it and you were back on track for a late finale. Just talk us through how that came about, because we missed you at Silverstone and then you were out here tonight. So how did that all come about?
I got given 2 weeks off from my squadron that I'm in. They just gave us 2 weeks summer holidays, so I wasn't going to say no. But definitely, so glad to be back racing. I'm absolutely sweating. That last race, I put absolutely everything I had into that. I'm so tired. But yeah, the instant with Fraser, I'm going to have an opinion on it. He's going to have an opinion on it. I haven't watched the replay, so I'm not going to answer the questions a lot about it, because I don't want to come across. I don't want to say what I see in the car. It's always different when you see it from an exterior view. So yeah. I don't want to come together with him, because I like Fraser. He's a really good guy. If he's watching this, he'll probably be really, really annoyed, and I can genuinely understand that. But it's just one of those things. I went for a move. He obviously defended the position. He's totally entitled to do that. And we came together. But I'll see if the stewards ping me for it, then I'll take the blame for it. If they don't, then happy days. We can both move on from it, hopefully.
No, it's been some great scrapping between the two of you throughout, and that's been 10 race wins for you, Stuart, throughout the Summer Cup. So you must be really pleased with that, and how you've carried.
It's not 11. It's a shame it's not 11. I was actually gutted when I crossed the line that I didn't get the win for that last one, and I forgot I'd won the championship, because I was that gutted I never got the win. But Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Stuart decision, obviously, because if I get pinged, then the way it works is how many positions Fraser lost, I lose in points. So just need to wait and see. But yeah, hopefully it works in my favour. But if it works in Fraser's favour, then totally well done to him. He drove a fantastic season. I'm really quite good in this car, I think. So to be up there with me, who's quite decent in the car, is no mean feat, especially when he's really rapid in single seaters and HVDs and stuff. So I'll be cheering him and Michelle Weddle on in the Autumn Cup.
Yeah, great stuff, Stuart. Well, Stuart, we wish you all the very best with your training as well. And if you're about, it would be great to see you out there on track. If you ever get a free night, it'd be great to see you out there. But if not, best of luck with your training. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to see you out there on track in our autumn and summer cups, and we wish you all the very best, Stuart. So thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it as well.
That was Stuart Mcfadden there. Okay, let's catch up. Again, we've got a number of drivers in the waiting room looking to speak with us. I think we have to bring the Renault Sim racing driver, Fraser Williamson, in next. Fraser, it's been a real roller coaster of emotions for you in this Summer Cup. Just kind of sum up how you're feeling at the moment for us.
I don't know how to say it without sounding rude. I'm annoyed at myself mainly because I was tragically bad race 2, and I couldn't make a move in race 1 without killing us both. And then for that to happen, race 3 is kind of disappointing. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting to be able to compete for the championship. Thanks to Stuart for not turning up for a few rounds. It made it then possible, and I decided to crash every race 3, which made it into this situation. So I could have done things better, let's put it that way, to avoid these situations.
Fraser, what do you feel was the difference in race 1 and race 2 between you and Stuart? Because you were there was a couple of tenths a second between you, but then race 2, the gap kind of seemed to come in quite early doors, and then it was difficult to kind of reel in Stuart as a result from that.
I messed up the start, as I do every race, and then I let my head get to me. As simple as that. It was like I was racing. Race 1 was how I've raced all this year. Race 2 is how I've raced pretty much every year of sim racing up till now. I make one mistake, my head went. And yeah, it's not pleasant.
Yeah, it's an important part of motorsport, isn't it? It's just the mental side of the game. It's a part that not everybody speaks about a lot, but it's so important, just the ability to dust yourself down and get on with things. But Fraser, it's been again some fantastic racing from you throughout, and I suspect you'll be very much looking forward to the Formula Reynolds as well for the Autumn Cup.
Well, yeah, the 2.0 can't be any worse than this beautiful TCR car we've driven for the past however long. So yeah, it's a car with downforce and, rear wheel drive and everything I quite like. So it'll be good fun. The racing will be very different in it, obviously, because open wheel, we'll have to have more space. We can't get away with the same shenanigans we have in the previous weeks, but hopefully we'll still have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be great to see you out there on track, Fraser. So thanks very much for joining us, and best of luck out there in the Autumn Cup.
Thanks, guys.
That was Fraser Williamson there. Let's catch up with another couple of drivers now. I think I'd like to hear the thoughts of Michael Weddle, who had a rather eventful Brands Hatch event. Let's catch up with the Rethink Racing driver now, who will join us in just a few moments' time. So we're looking for Michael Weddle to come and join us in the broadcast channel. Here he is, Michael Weddle. Michael,
hello.
I don't know where to start. That was a heartbreaking race number 1 for you there. Just it was. You must have been centimeters in that, and off you went.
I think it must be something to do with race 1s. Binning it off in race 1 in real life and binning it off on this. To be honest, I started fiddling around with buttons on my steering wheel, looking at my settings, and I lost concentration and touched the grass. And I was like, "Oh no, I've been here before, not that long ago." Oh, but no, I had a really good race 2 and 3. It was good fun actually. So no, good day.
No, and really good scraps between your Rethink Racing teammates, Adam Brown in particular and Jack here, and great defensive driving from you, which we've kind of almost come to expect. But it's easy for us to say here and watch, but it was essentially 30 minutes in race number 2 or 3 of sustained pressure from the pair of them.
I'm not going to lie, I was absolutely sweating after that. Race 2 was just constant pressure from Adam there. And I got quite lucky getting through the middle of them and making it 3 wide, and then I just kind of sat in the middle of the road and get 1 point. Jack, right, you're holding us all up. Can you go a bit faster? Well, I'm going as fast as I can. I was just really struggling for pace today. I just didn't have any, but no, it's good fun.
And you must be looking ahead to the Autumn Cup as well. It's again a very different offering from what we've had here in the Summer Cup. But is it a car that you're looking forward to driving?
Not really. I've done a fair bit of testing to try and get the setup to try and get like an even playing field for as many people there going out. But so I kind of grown to hate the car already, which is probably not good going into this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the different tracks like Red Bull Ring, Imola, etc. I think Andy, you should get yourself out for one of the races as well. Get yourself going because you were doing pretty well at Imola as well, weren't you?
I don't want anyone protesting me. I'm just, oh no. Just one lap pace I've got, and that's about me. I think.
Of course not.
But Michael, I think it's been an impressive Summer Cup from you, and I think, of course, you'll be very much up there at the sharp end in the Autumn Cup. So thanks very much for joining us, and
Cheers,
best of luck out there for the next few events.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for the broadcast. Well done on the comms, Andy.
So that was Michael Weddle there. Let's catch up with his Rethink Racing teammate Jack Eyre, who joins us now. Jack, 3 dramatic races out there for you tonight. Just talk us through that event from your perspective.
Yeah, qualifying, not my greatest again. I put it down to the fact that I don't really gel with this car. I think if I'd have put the lap I wanted to together, I'd have probably just been a roundabout or just ahead of Scott Smith, a couple of places ahead. But yeah, pretty good starts in both races and just trying to get my elbows out. Trying to finish ahead of Adam Brown for P3 in the championship for a spot, a little bit of silverware from the Summer Cup. But yeah, two P5s and then wherever I finished in race 3, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, race 3 was a bit dramatic, not being left room when I feel like I should have done, but that's racing. And I was right on the back of him again anyway, so no hard feelings there. But yeah, overall, not a bad round.
And not a bad Summer Cup as well for you, Jack, I have to say. You've did really well. So you must be quite satisfied with how things have gone overall. Yeah,
I've had less bad luck this time, more bad consistency, and that's on my own part, I used to get along with this car. It's a bit more technical nowadays. So yeah, it's a shame. But hopefully we're not too far away when it comes to the Formula Renault. But yeah, just watch Fraser be like 2 seconds up the road because he's rapid in anything with downforce. So
no, it certainly is. And is it what's your kind of expectations going into the Autumn Cup? What are you looking to achieve? You got kind of one eye on the overall championship standings as well now, of course.
I don't think I'm going to get near the overall championship. At least to the lead, unless Fraser uninstalls iRacing. But yeah, no, my expectations are hopefully we can keep it clean. There's been quite a bit of door banging, and you can get away with that in the TCR. Not so much in the Formula Renault. So hopefully the grid accounts for that. When setting moves up and things like that. But yeah, not going to change much. Just hopefully I'll gel with the car a bit better this time around. And yeah, I had a peek at the calendar that got released earlier in the stream, and yeah, it looks to be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly does. And Jack, we look forward to seeing you out there on track. And thanks very much for joining us here after the race.
Cheers, thank you, and thanks for your coverage all the way through. As a driver, we appreciate it. Gives us something to go back and feel good about. You commentating on our little pretend spreadsheet races. Cheers.
Stuff. I try. Thanks very much, Jack. That's Jack here speaking to us there. We've got a couple other drivers I'm keen to get the thoughts of. Let's catch up with Robert McGregor, who has had another very impressive campaign in the Summer Cup. Robert, thanks very much for joining us. That's the end of our Summer Cup. Just sum up your kind of emotions after that one, because it's been a impressive campaign from yourself.
Well, yeah, it's been a great couple of races for me. Getting the drive of the day was certainly one of the highlights. It's just one of these things though that, like, in the last round, everyone's kind of going for it, and there's a lot more accidents and things can happen and stuff. And I just got caught up in a couple of them tonight. Some of them were mine, some of them were with other people. But overall, I think kind of Team MSR, myself, Aidan and Junior, have had great races. Just shows tonight what Junior can do. I mean, he got 3rd place in the last race, so congratulations to him, and congratulations to Aidan as well for the kind of championship as well for where he's placed. So yeah, there's a lot of positives to take into the next one. I certainly think it's Formula Renault 2.5, so 2.0s. I think they're going to be a trickier car to drive, certainly because they're open wheel and there's not a lot of kind of door rubbing in that. If you door rub in that, you're kind of tireless or wheelless. So I think certainly there's a lot to take into the next round with this, and yeah, just see what happens really. But I can't complain at the moment.
No, absolutely. And Robert, give us a little insight to how you're operating at the team. You've mentioned a couple of drivers there. How are you guys preparing for each of these events?
So normally we do a practice session. Like normally we do a practice session together. But this kind of last couple, I've not been at home, so I think AJ and John themselves have been practicing together. I've not been at home because I've been at work and stuff. So for example, tonight I had no practice. So, but I suppose there's always ways you can kind of get better, and practice is one of them. And because tonight I didn't have any, I felt like I was on the back foot. But normally that's what we do. We just get into a session together and we just see what's the best line and where one another's quicker, and tips and wee tricks and stuff, you know. But MSR is run by a lot of other motorsport enthusiasts, like John Higgins is part of it, and you know he holds the fort up. So I would like to give a wee shout out to him as well. So, but other than that, yeah, just practice together. We don't really practice in the group of cars, so when we get there, it's kind of hard for us to adjust. But we try and race each other when we are practicing, so that's just the best way to do it, you know.
Nah, that sounds good. And yeah, we look forward to seeing how you and the team get on in the Autumn Cup. Robert, thanks very much for joining us here after the
Thanks
race.
for having us, guys. I really appreciate it.
That's Robert McGregor there. Let's catch up with a couple of drivers before we sign off for the Summer Cup. Let's catch up with Andrew McKinley, who will join us in the virtual commentary box. Andrew, you've had a very impressive Summer Cup. The last two rounds in particular, you finished strongly. But just talk us through your thoughts on Brands Hatch, because it was a race, 3 races, I should say, packed full of drama for you.
Well, I've had a really good race throughout all 3 races, but some of the corners were a bit difficult for me to handle, so that's why I couldn't get the acceleration or the braking where I wanted, because I've not had that much practice throughout today.
Yeah, definitely, and it's one of those tracks as well where it's because it's so fast and flowing. Do you feel that it's about trying to get the momentum and then build on that from there as well throughout the race?
Exactly. It's a really difficult car for the TCR, but it is really fun to drive, and I feel like I've done really well in the past couple of rounds.
No, we certainly have, Andrew, and you must be looking forward to trying to take that momentum with you into the Autumn Cup as well. Are you looking to get involved in that?
I might, but I'll just wait and see, because I've got quite a fair bit to do. But if I don't be part in the Autumn Championship, then I'll come back next time.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to hopefully seeing you out there on track, Andrew, and congratulations on an impressive campaign in the Summer Cup.
Thank you very much. Take care.
That's Andrew McKinley there. So, last driver we're going to speak to before we sign off is Aidan Wilson. And Aidan, I'm keen to get your thoughts here on not just the action in general, but of course you've competed in our console championships in the past. So, how does that compare for you when you're moving into the iRacing events?
Oh, I guess it's the real driver's equivalent of switching into a new car or front wheel to rear wheel drive. It's quite difficult for me anyway. I'm still in the Logitech, so trying to switch to it, it's been difficult, but I'm trying to get there every race.
And what's your kind of thoughts on your Summer Cup overall? You know, you've had some impressive results in there throughout, and you must be again looking to try and take that into the Autumn Cup.
Yeah, the races that I've made they've been pretty good. Sometimes little accidents have set me back, but I think this round especially was one of my best this season, or my best result at least, with 4th place in the first race. So I'm well chuffed with that, but especially for John Higgins on his podium.
No, absolutely. It's always good to finish on a high as well, Aidan, and take that positive energy with you into the finale. So again, is the Formula Renault car one that you're looking forward to?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've not drove it yet, so I don't know how competitive I'll be, but I'll give it a go.
Oh, well, good luck out there, Aidan. We'll look forward to following your racing journey with interest in the Summer Cup. Thanks very much for speaking to us, and best of luck out there in the Autumn Cup.
Thank you. Bye.
That was Aidan Wilson there, and that's all we've got time for here on the broadcast. It has been a thrilling finale in our SMRC eSports Summer Cup, powered by Reese Motorsport Insurance, presented by Sim Broadcast. It's been a delight to commentate on the finale. Thank you very much for your company. From me, Andy Alston, take care, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 3 weeks' time for the Autumn Cup.